What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into today's Entitled Parents stories, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. When we hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a huge giveaway, but you've got to be subscribed to be in with a chance of winning. With that being said, let's get into the stories. Entitled Mum demands my first class upgrade. I just got back from Afghanistan about a week ago and was heading home on my post-deployment leave to surprise my father. He did not know when I was back. When I got to the check-in counter, the lady told me that my flight was delayed due to mechanical issues and that they were trying to find a new plane for the flight. This is important later. 4 hours later, I am boarding my flight. Now, the original plane did not have a first class row, but the new plane did, and no one was seated in them. As a veteran, they allowed me and a few others to board the flight first. Once seated, I put my headphones in and waited for the flight to depart. After the flight was loaded, the flight attendant came on the speaker to tell everyone that the flight had the entire first class section open and that they would select seats at random to give people free upgrades for the flight. This is where everyone started to ask for the upgrade, some even getting belligerent, demanding an upgrade. I didn't mind my seat and honestly did not expect to get selected for the upgrade. But as the lady was going around listening to people bugging her for an upgrade, she came up to me. "Excuse me, sir, would you like to be upgraded to first class?" "Really? That would be great. I've never sat in first class before." "Well, it's your lucky day. Grab your carry-on and I'll show you to your new seat." As I'm collecting my belongings, the passenger behind my seat went hysterical. "What makes him so special that you gave him the upgrade?" "Mom, the selection was random and his seat was selected." "That's BS. He already got to enter the plane before me and my daughter, even though I was Zone A. How much more does he need?" "Mom, I'm sorry, it was random." So I say to the attendant, "Look, it's okay, I can sit in my normal seat and she can have the upgrade." "My daughter needs an upgrade too then, just give her a random upgrade too." What, so one upgrade wasn't even enough for this entitled mum? "Mom, the seats have already been selected. I can't remove someone else for your daughter. You'll have to stay in your seat." At this point, the flight attendant took me to the first class seat and I sat down. She asked me if I wanted anything to drink and that everything was complimentary. So I ordered a beer and a bag of chips and put my headphones in to enjoy my one and only time in first class. Fast forward to being in the air. An hour has gone by and I'm asleep when I feel someone tapping me on the shoulder. I wake up and it's the crazy passenger from before. "I'll take your seat now." Well, I'm already settled and the flight attendant already told you no." "Okay, how about you get out of the seat right now? I'm a mother, so give it to me." I'm agitated at this point. "With all due respect, no, I'm just gonna stay here." After that, EM leaves and I put my headphones back in. A few minutes later, she returns and pulls my headphones out of my head. "You're going to give me the seat." She then collects my phone and Kindle off of the tray and stands up. Now I'm furious because she just yanked my headphone off and took my belongings, so I get the flight attendant's attention and explain what's going on. "Mom, please return to your seat. I don't want this to escalate any further." "This is effing ridiculous. Just because he's a soldier doesn't mean he should get his sucked by everyone." I'm a Marine, by the way. The entitled mum then threw my belongings on my lap pretty hard, but I just sat there quietly until she went back to her seat. I apologised to the flight attendant for all the trouble, and she told me situations like this is why they never really give free upgrades during a flight. The rest of the flight went normal and I was able to surprise my dad. Well, that is good news that everything worked out okay in the end. I wanted to sell my old car, but an entitled son wants my new car, so his entitled dad and him steal it. Backstory, I have to go back a bit for that. In April 2018, it was the last day we had freezing temperatures and heavy snow. On that day, on my way home from work, I had an accident with my 2006 Ford Focus. I crashed into a driver in front of me because I underestimated the frozen road. Don't worry, neither me nor the driver I crashed into were harmed in any way. His car had a scratch in the back bumper while my car's front bumper broke at the side. Police were called, we exchanged information, and that was the end of it. So I had to bring my car to the mechanic again, and I'd had enough of it. I'd owned the car for almost 2 years and had to make several repairs already, so I thought whatever, and I tried to get a new car. I brought my Focus to a friend of mine who made a little extra by repairing cars. A co-worker of mine gave me a ride to work until I had a new car. I paid my share for the gas. Now to the present. Around a month ago, I found a new car, finally. A car dealer had a deal where they would sell cars with daily admission for €10,000 less less than the original price. After a short time thinking and some dealing with my bank account manager, I'm now the owner of a 2018 Ford Focus ST Line Sport Edition. Completely black except for the roof and the top half of the side mirrors, which were red. The car is great, and when I bought it, it had only around 15 miles. Sorry for the long backstory, onto the actual encounter. After I bought the new car, I put my old Focus up for sale on an app called AutoScout24, where everyone can sell their cars for how much they want for it. Of course, depending on age, miles, etc. Most of the damages were fixed. Me and my SO had cleaned it inside and outside, but I knew I wouldn't get much for it. So I put the base price at €350 with the option of bargaining. In my first post, I told you that I live in the old town of my home city, so in order to not occupy parking spaces and to avoid parking tickets, I parked my car at my grandma's place in the driveway. Her house is in the countryside, so it won't bother anyone and I could take good pictures for the ad. 2 days ago, while I was at work, I got a call from an unknown number. The guy left a message that he wanted to take a look at the car. I called him back, told him where the car was and that we could meet there after my shift was finished. He agreed. After I'm done with my shift, I drove immediately to my grandma's place to wait for him. Me and the entitled dad agreed on meeting at 3:30. I was there early, parked next to my old Focus, went inside to tell my grandma I'm selling the car today and checked if everything was still alright. The entitled dad and his entitled son arrived half an hour later than agreed, explaining the place was hard to find. I shrug it off because I could tell they weren't from around here. So me and the entitled dad take a look around the car. I explained everything to him, fixed damages, etc. And he asked me about how many miles, HP, etc, the usual stuff. While I talk with the entitled dad, I noticed that his entitled son wasn't paying any attention. The car was supposed to be for his son, according to the entitled dad, but the entitled son is liking to take a look at my new Focus instead. Dang, that's a nice ride. Thanks. Can I take a ride? Now, I'm very picky if it's about my new car, but who wouldn't be? And by the way, I had a feeling he didn't have his driver's license for very long. Sorry, not happening. I just got the car a few weeks ago. Come on, let the boy have a little fun. Sorry, still not happening. And by the way, we were talking about my 2006 Focus, not my new one. But I like this car. You heard him, he likes this one. So how about you sell us this one instead? Yeah, right, and how much would you pay me anyway? Well, the ad said €350. Yes, for the 2006 Ford Focus, not the 2018 one. Fine, I give you $3,000 for the new one. Are you serious? I paid $30,000 for that car. Now $30,000 was the original price, but with the deal I got it for $20,000. Well, you drove the car for a while, and that's a price drop. Sorry, this is leading nowhere, we are done. I turned to my car, pulled the key out of my pockets and just wanted to go home. Dad, I want the car. The entitled dad grabs me by the arm. You heard him, hand over the keys. Now, I'm a little heavy built, but I'm still strong enough to fight if I have to. I said no, and I would recommend you let me go now. While my eyes were staring at the entitled dad, his entitled son snatched the keys from my hand, unlocked the car and jumped in. I immediately freed myself from the entitled dad and ran to the driver's door of my car. The little idiot locked the door so I couldn't get inside. So I did the only thing I could and stood behind my car to prevent him from leaving. He could only back out of the driveway. Tell your kid to get out the car before I call the police. In the commotion, my grandma came outside. What's going on? Grandma, go inside and call the police. They're trying to steal my... I couldn't even finish my sentence because the entitled dad shoved me aside so the entitled son could drive away. Well, he surprised me. I hit the ground hard and they drove off in my car while leaving their car behind. I immediately grabbed my phone and called the police. As I mentioned in the backstory, my new Focus was completely black except for the roof and the top of the side mirrors, which were red, which means that car stood out amongst most which are around our home city. It took the police 10 minutes to arrive. One of the officers took mine and my grandma's statement, while the other one radioed his colleagues from the neighbouring towns the description and license plate of my car. About an hour later, the entitled dad and his entitled son came back to the house with my car. The two policemen jumped them at sight, pulled them out of the car and cuffed them. The entitled dad tried to talk him and his son out of the situation by telling the police they were only doing a test drive. The police had none of their BS and escorted them away. I guess they didn't fancy actually stealing the car for real then. They asked me if I wanted to press charges and I agreed. More importantly, I checked my car for damages. It had around 20 miles more than before, and I found ash and cigarette burns on my back seat. I still have to wait for a court date, and if possible, I'll keep you updated. Anyway, that is the end of today's episode of r/Entitled Parents. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe for that upcoming giveaway at 50k. And finally, a big thanks to my patrons who you can see on the screen right now. If you want to see your name at the end of every single one of my videos, check out my Patreon, the link is below. Alright, see you tomorrow with another Reddit video.